All that man had to do was sit down and shut up until after this election cycle.
Yeah.
And he would have been it. He could have been Trump's VP pick.
100%.
He could have been.
I'm shocked. He
got cocky.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Because he hasn't. Has Trump decided?
Oh, he ain't gonna take no. Listen, DeSantis already stabbed him in the back, and Trump ain't gonna go back to DeSantis. There's zero chance.
He doesn't go back to people that stab him in the back?
He doesn't unless you're willing to get down on your knees and, let's say, beg. So
Haktua.
Yeah, but DeSantis ain't going to do that. He's not doing that. He's already he got pride and all this shit. Because if he'd have waited, he could have gotten there. Instead, when Trump was down, he decided to use this opportunity and pounce. And now he's lost. And now he's going to be done in 2026. And he's not going to have jack shit to do till 2028. And nobody's going to give a shit about him.
Well, at that point, you come out with a book.
Yeah. I mean,
his book circuit.
Maybe he gets to become senator. But his chances, he did so badly in his bid for presidency that he's never, that was it. He blew his one shot. And I'm grateful for that.
Oh, me too. Because he's a smarter Trump, essentially.
Smarter, yes. Not smart.
No, I said smarter. Relative. Yeah. It's relative.
But okay. So here's why Trump getting elected is not having me sell my house and start looking for other spots.
Okay.
I don't mean like out of the country.
Yeah.
Here's what's coming.
I know what you meant.
Right. So Trump takes power either through gerrymandering, some election suppression, maybe some mild coups,
mild,
just some little like diet coup,
diet Jan 6.
Exactly. Just like just a soupçon, just a sprinkle,
just a soupçon,
just a soupçon of coup, and he eventually gets there, right? So now comes in this thing called Project 2025.
Yeah, that's
so. If you're not familiar with Project 2025, actually, the best summary I can give you is actually to go on YouTube and find Last Week Tonight, John Oliver.
Yeah,
he did a thing on Project 2025 that sums it up brilliantly.
Okay, give us the cliff notes.
But here's the important part. What Project 2025 is from the Heritage Foundation, which is evil.
Yes.
And so basically what they looked around and they said, why wasn't Trump more successful? Well, because Trump got into the White House and had no goddamn idea what he was doing. And the people around him didn't know what they were doing. And so when you become president, there's all of these presidential appointees that you've got to make.
Yes.
We're talking thousands upon thousands upon thousands of appointments that the president makes. And obviously he doesn't make them directly. He has people and those people put in other people. But a lot of times if you work under the previous administration, you're just out of job, but not always. Because if you're not in a politically sensitive spot, a lot of times the political appointees will just go back, or they'll go back with the next time the administration comes in, or they'll get hired on as a consultant. They'll still kind of stay around in that world because they've got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And you don't really care when you're getting down to like, how are we going to handle Health and Human Services undersecretaries, one of their underlings, like, bro, there's nothing political here. You're not becoming senator from this position.
Sure.
But it would be helpful if you knew where this stuff was and how this works. So you have all these political appointees that the president makes. Well, the president Trump didn't make them all over the course of time.
No.
Like he could. There was too many, didn't know what to do. So what Project 2025 said is, okay, we got you. So you can now apply for a job with Project 2025, not to go work for them, but to be trained and ready to go to fill one of those thousands of political vacancies.
Oh my God.
The second that he hits the thing. So they've got a plan for Trump. Like, here's exactly what we're going to do from the jump.
So, and can you explain the relationship between the Heritage Foundation and Trump specifically? Because it's that's an old conservative PAC. Are they a PAC?
Yeah, well, they're a think tank.
A think tank.
But Heritage Foundation is the one up front, but Project 2025 encompasses every single group of like political thinkers that would like me and you to maybe live together on a farm and spend our days picking I don't know, some
okay.
kind of crop
Got it.
or something along those lines.
Got it.
I'm sure they would also be fine with us cleaning.
Okay, also cleaning. Oh, well, at least they're versatile.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some other labor, something.
You know?
Anyway, the point is, there are a bunch of racist, white supremacist, terrifying groups that have that very nice faux presentation.
Sure.
And there's a whole bunch of them. But the insidious part isn't that. I mean, that's actually pretty normal. Most folks don't need an entire project because most presidents come in with a whole bunch of bureaucrats that are like, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you who to put in here. And the president goes, all right. Great.
Yeah.
But what they want to do here, and where Project 25 really gets insidious, is that they would then like to reclassify a whole bunch of the folks that are not political appointees to become political appointees.
Oh.
So all of your career folks would now become political appointees that could be replaced by these people who are applying, because a presidential appointment is just that. Like, there is nothing stopping President Joe Biden from declaring you the Secretary of State aside from the congressional approval. Like, you have to go through that, but
and the 3 or 4 tangents he would go about,
and really, actually, we don't really have a terribly bad. Anyway, the point is, like. The danger here, though, is that this, number one, makes all of this stuff political. And number two, means that you're losing all of the competent people. Because when you get down to, like, who's going to decide how much poison is allowed in the drinking water? That's not something you want a political appointee doing. That's somebody you want who has been doing that job for 25 years and has a lot of education and experience in that.
Yes.
That's not a political appointee.
No.
When we're trying to figure out, like, the one that John Oliver uses that I think is really important too, NOAA tracks climate change. They track hurricanes. And that's not, you don't want the guys in charge of that as political appointees. You really want the professionals there, but they're going to wipe the board. Also, part of Project 2025 is they want to dismantle a lot of federal agencies. The Department of Education, Department of, I think NOAA's on their list. They want to take apart all of these. So this combined with, of course, Trump famously having said, I don't know famously because he says so much crazy shit, but one of the things that he said recently was that he would be a dictator on day one, but just for a day. Just for day one, because that's how power works. That's how the United States works.
Insane.
So all of this makes a lot of people very concerned.
Yes.
Here's why you don't need to be as concerned. You should be concerned.
I'm concerned.
It's not. Here's why it's not the end of the country. It actually. So my son is 11 years old. He's a sweet kid.
Yes.
Occasionally dumb as a box of rocks, but he's a good kid.
Yeah.
And sometimes he comes to me and he says, Dad, I want to go buy this thing on Roblox. Okay. This little video game system.
Yeah.
And he wants to spend a bunch of his money on this thing on Roblox. And I said to him, don't do that. You're not going to be happy with that purchase. No, I want to do it, Dad. I want to do it, Dad. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. And I fight with him back and forth. He wants to. Of course. It was like $40 on something on Roblox, right? Like, for him.
Games are getting ridiculous.
No, it wasn't even for a game. It was for an add-on for a game.
To the game. Yeah.
And I'm like, you've been playing this game for fucking 2 days. You're going to not be playing it 2 days from now. But he wants to spend basically like 80% of his money on this one thing. And so eventually I had to stop and I had to say, you know what? Yes, you can do this. I already know how it's going to go, but at least now when you waste 80% of your available funds, you're going to do it in a safe environment so that when it happens, you're not going to end up destitute. Like, if I blew 80% of my funds on something bad, we would be homeless. And I would be homeless because my wife would divorce me. She'd probably figure it out. And I think, here's the thing. We keep being asked if we can do a fascism. They want to do a fascism so very badly.
They so want to do a fascism.
They want to do a fascism so bad. And so at a certain point, they're going to do a fascism either way.
Oh, so you're saying just let them do a fascism.
Controlled explosion. Here's why.
Okay.
Despite what it looks like, we are, when you look at the numbers and such, we're doing fine as a country. I know that we hear a lot of the political division. I know we see a lot of the terrible things. There are absolutely war crimes happening, both in and outside of our country, that the United States has blood on its hands for. I'm not saying things are good.
Okay, I'm just making sure that we're on the same page and we're reading the same news and
absolutely
experiencing the same reality.
But here's the key piece. You know, like a lot of leftists are talking about pulling out the guillotine, right? And the wage, how the inequality gap, wealth inequality gap right now is larger than it was during the French Revolution.
Sure. Yeah.
But do you know why there aren't guillotines being pulled out into the streets?
Because the manufacturers aren't making them, because they're not.
No.
There's more efficient ways of doing it.
Well, yes, but the guillotine wasn't just about efficiency.
It was about showmanship. Absolutely.
It was about showmanship.
Absolutely. The guillotine was about showmanship.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
You know what? That's going to be the name of the episode.
It's about showmanship. Here's what I'm going to tell you, though. The reason, though, is that the difference between the France in the late 1700s, early 1800s and today is that, like, we still got food. We've still got places to live. Like, the gap is bigger, but the bottom is still holding. And as long as the bottom holds, it's not going to happen.
This reminds me of the old Al Sterling seal of good enough.
Yeah. The Sterling seal of good enough is a time-honored tradition in my family.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm saying. Like, and so this is why, like, right now, if they were successful and they were to take apart NOAA and the Department of Education, all this stuff, it would be really, really bad. But what they're going to basically do is really inconvenience a bunch of middle-class and upper-middle-class white people.
Wait.
What they're going to do is they're going to make it very hard for rich people to make more money. Like, some rich people will make a lot more money.
A lot.
But do you know the best thing to stop a rich white person? Well, a bullet. But another...
I'm glad
I know. I wanted to say it for you. Another rich white person. You need the systems in conflict. You need these in competition. Like this, and if you start to install the stuff, it's not going to work because, and this is very important, their ideas are really stupid.
Oh, so stupid.
And if this were 2008, 2009, if there were, like, people were losing their homes and everybody, like, all of that stuff, like, you're starting to get to the spot where the ground is going to be fertile enough for a really good fascism to take place.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just not there, man. Look, the housing market, it's not going to collapse.
Are you saying they're pulling the fascism fruit before it's ripe?
Yes, they absolutely are. And it would be much better for them to pull it when it's not ripe. Now, I want to be very clear. It's going to suck. It is going to suck. They are evil people. They're flat out evil people doing evil shit.
Yes.
But if they're going to do it anyway, I'd prefer they do it when it's absolutely not going to work rather than wait for the economy to collapse or something else along those lines, because what they're going to do there is they're going to finally sully their own name, because that's what we need. We need for them to destroy themselves.
We need for them to be so unbelievably bad that they end up shooting themselves in the foot, essentially.
Yeah, but they have to... I mean, they've been that bad for a long time.
Yeah.
They have to piss off the comfortable.